Well, hello everybody. Coach Ballgame here, and this is the Hit by Pitch webinar, helping your kid turn fear into confidence. Thanks for being here. I always start these webinars off with, "You're awesome. You are the superhero you've been waiting for, and we've been waiting for." The fact that you want to get better at navigating this world of youth sports with your children, I just got to give you a leadership salute and an attaboy or an attagirl. So thank you for being here. Let's dig right in. My name's James, but nobody calls me that. My nickname's Coach Ballgame. Played 4 years at Brown University. Started coaching in 2005, and now I've coached hundreds of thousands of kids, and I'd say about 92% of those kids have gone through this fear of getting hit by the pitch. I will say, if you're a coach, give these kids nicknames. First things first, it builds trust. And when they do have things come up like fear or adversity, they trust you because you ask them questions and you got to know them as a person. So, yeah, I'm Coach Ballgame. Why are we here? I think I have a good idea why. This topic is beyond popular. I am proud to say I own one record in my college at Brown University. It's career hit by pitch. I will close out this session with a little story about that. But yeah, I get it. I totally understand it. And everybody goes through this. Mike Trout, Shohei Ohtani, Coach Ballgame, you, everyone. It's incredibly normal. It's the most common email I get, so I had to create this webinar for you. Today's lineup, put your own oxygen mask on first. We're going to get specific with you as the mom or dad. What should you do? Tips for the coaches of kids that are struggling with this, and then some final thoughts. One, as if you're on a plane, you got to get your oxygen mask on first, and then everybody else's. I think of it like getting married. Like, I wasn't ready to get married and be a great teammate for somebody else until this guy was ready, till I took care of myself. Um, a reason flight attendants say put your oxygen masks on before the kids. These kids, um, they go through this fear of the ball, and I don't think you can help them with this fear until you have figured out how to tap into your own experiences of failure or fear, things of that nature. I think the first way to do it is put yourself in their shoes. What are you afraid of, mom, dad? What scares you? For me, I relate it to the first child we had, our first daughter. I had no experience in being a father or holding a baby or taking care of this human living thing, and I was very nervous, inexperienced, scared. So I relate in that way. Um, what's a time you've been scared in life? Was it when you were hit by the pitch? Was it when you were studying for this test or trying to get this job? But before you start communicating with the kids, tap into that vulnerability of when were you afraid? Manage your expectations. I always talk about teaching the do, not the don't, especially when you're in game. You want to preach the do, not the don't. Do expect that this will happen. Just expect it. When you sign your kid up for Little League, especially when kid pitch starts, they're going to get hit and they're going to be afraid of the ball and they're going to step out. So just expect it to happen. Why? Because every 8-year-old who pitches has never pitched before. So they're going to be kind of wild and hit a lot of kids. It's the nature of the beast. Do try to look big picture. Overcoming fear of the unknown is a vital life lesson every kid needs to learn. We don't enjoy watching our kid go through that, but it's huge. And do remember that overcoming adversity might be the most important life lesson we ever teach them. Giving them that tool, the game, never life or death, but down the road, there could be a decision made or adversity that hits these kids. And if they have a tool from you that they were taught 10 years prior, that might be a life or death kind of thing. Manage your expectations with the don'ts. Don't be surprised if kids are the brave versions of themselves during coach pitch, machine pitch, during practice, but then resort back to this afraid of the ball when it's kid pitch. Sound like the game version of a kid versus the practice version. Very normal. So don't be surprised. Expect that. Overnight change never happens when we're talking about getting hit by the pitch. And kids don't really want to own up to this fear. Um, they're not gonna do that on their own. I've rarely seen a kid just come up to me and say, "Coach, I'm afraid of the ball. Help." No, they want to be tough. They want to be strong. Boys, especially with this, rub some dirt on it. Culture, move on. We're not supposed to confess fears, right? I've never seen my dad cry. Like it's definitely a man thing, and a lot of girls as well. I have a daughter who has already gone through this, but even though she's a little guarded, still a little more open to express her fear than boys will. What can you do? You can help them recognize their fear. I think this is the first step. Help them recognize their fear of the ball, but you got to be smart about it. You can't just jump right in and say, "Are you afraid of the ball?" You look afraid of the ball, right? You have to build up some trust first, and then you can dig. Ways to help them get there. Tell them about when you were afraid of getting hit or a time you've been afraid of something. That will sometimes open up a door, unlock that lock, and they'll start to open up and slowly go, you know what? Yeah, I am afraid of the ball. Um, and yeah, ta explain when you were the most scared you've ever been. I actually speak about Derek McKee, who, when I was 8 years old, he was in my hometown, and he was a year older than me and threw it harder than anybody in the world, and he hit me. And I talk about that, how I was afraid for a couple of years. So there you go. It's also an opportunity to grow a bond with a kid outside of baseball, which I think is way more important than teaching them any baseball skills. And if this is your son or daughter, that's all we really want, right? Is to have a bond and to get closer, get more connected. I'm most connected with my daughter when I'm vulnerable, when I've apologized, when I show her I'm flawed or I'm not perfect. When the Superman cape comes off, we're at our most connected. All righty. So that was kind of our own oxygen mask, so to speak, just tapping into our vulnerabilities and what lens we should look through. Module 2, tips for parents. So this will really speak to the moms and dads. A lot of you do coach your own son or daughter as well. So Module 3 will tap into that part of it. But for the most part, parents, we want to be supportive. We want to be their champion through this, the most positive influence in the game. You are mom and dad, not the coach. So even if you are coaching your son or daughter, I highly recommend the handoff. Hand this one off to an assistant coach. Delegate. You are the only one who can be their parent, and you can pass along the coaching to other adults. A great thing for your kid developmentally as well. Um, there's just a lot of baggage there, right? My daughters, they know that their dad, their mom is always asking them to make their bed, clean their room, be on time. That's been going on for a decade now. So when it comes to baseball or softball or getting hit by a pitch or overcoming fear, they're going to kind of tune us out. So pass it off, delegate, get on the same page with that coach that is working with your child. Have a one-on-one conversation with them, and just fill them in on what's going on, and get on the same page with an approach of how to go about it. Um, you have to go about it one step at a time, and you got to be on the same page. Uh, that's huge. But hopefully, you have a coach, or if you're the coach, an assistant coach who's going to handle this situation, who is open to a conversation and have creating a two-way street here. Different timetable, right? I've seen kids that get over it in about 3 weeks, but most kids, it's about a year. For me, 2 years. I get hit when I'm 8. I didn't feel comfy again till I was 10. Um, if you try to rush it, it works backwards. So there should be no rushing involved in this process, especially as the parent. As they're processing this, we've got a few bullet points for your checklist. What can you do as mom or dad while they're processing this fear, while they're or figuring out, wow, this is scary. Do I want to do this? There's other sports out there where there's not something fast coming at me and hitting me. Remember your role. Be their champion. Support. Positivity. The second one's a really big one, and it took me a minute to figure this one out. Praise the small wins. Like a foul ball, that's huge. Not stepping out as drastically, that's huge. Praise that very loudly. And then, as a general note, show them your joy is detached from their results. Now, this should be the case for everything in sports: home runs, strikeouts, failure, succeeding. Your joy detached from their results. I was lucky I had parents whose joy was attached to my joy of the game and my character. They were happy, and they were praising me if my attitude was good, if I was hustling, if I was making good choices. They could care less about the home runs or the strikeouts. So detach that joy from the result. So this delegating, even if you are the head coach, I think it's an amazing idea. If there's something skill based, or it has to do with this fear of the ball, um, an aunt, an uncle, an assistant coach, even a big brother or big sister, they're just going to be more open to trying something challenging when it's not your voice. It's just as simple as that. My daughters, they will listen to their dance teacher loud and clear, and they'll listen to their teachers. And I'll be like, man, what do we have to do as mom and dad to get you to respond in that way? It's just the nature of the game. I'm sure you can all relate to that. Anything that might challenge the athlete, hand that one off. And this goes for any kind of drills, activities. You can tell that the kid is struggling with throwing strikes or pulling their front shoulder out. All of that stuff. Really try to pass it off. Responding in the moment. Do love on them through this. Make sure that your tone is loving. Your body language is loving, and this is not life or death. All right. This is just a small step towards greatness. Tread with empathy, right? I didn't do this as a young coach. If somebody wasn't playing like me or hustling like me or acting like me when I was 8 years old, then I shamed them. I embarrassed them. Oh, you're wrong and I'm right. That was a self-righteous approach. Took me some mentors and some years of failing, and some kids quitting the game because of me, for me to start treading with empathy. Put yourself in their shoes and then reassure them that your love and your joy, it transcends their performance. Um, Huge. Understand your child's specific needs. So I learned this. I read this book many years ago as I was struggling in relationships, and it's love language. You got to find these kids' love language. Does your kid respond to words of affirmation? Does your kid love gifts? Does your kid love quality time? Does your kid need teammates to rally behind them? How do they respond in a positive way? And how do they learn? That's coaching 101, and I've learned that it is parenting 101. My daughters love daddy to be present, to get off my phone, to watch them dance, to watch them perform, to just be with them and be in the moment. They both love it. Um, and I try my best to be very present. Tap into their love language. If it's quality time, sit with them and sit with them in it. Not sympathy, but empathy. All right, sit beside them, lay down with them as they cry, and share your flaws. Share when you get scared. Let them know that you can relate and you get it, and it's normal. Normalize it. Physical touch. Maybe they need a hug. Maybe it's words of affirmation. Maybe it's a baseball card. Um, but this is how you can be fully supportive. Uh, you've got this. I love you. Um, we'll get there, right? Respect their processing style. Now, if you learn their love language, you'll understand their processing style. I have one daughter, highly emotional right out of the gates. I got another one. She's going to go stew in her room for a while, and then she's over. They both can quickly get past things, but they stew much differently. Maybe that kid needs space versus support. Um, there's a very high emotion, a high emote, where you've got to, oh, I'm not going to fight fire with fire here. I'm going to be patient. And then, yeah, just know your kid, and don't ever feel like a failure, right? I fell into that trap many times as a parent and as a coach, where if something wasn't going right, it was I was putting I was making myself feel like a failure. Oh, I'm shaming myself. I'm a failure, and I would go inward, and then that would translate into angry tone or passive aggressive tone. You're not a failure in this whatsoever, mom and dad. So just try to either create space if they need that. Patience is huge, but find out how much time do they need uh, before you embrace, chat, talk about your failures. Patience, try to let them bring it up first. This is a toughie, right? But they're afraid of the ball or they're crying. I've been there. I've been there. I get it. But you want them to be the one to talk about why, what's going on. Ask open-ended questions. I've learned this when I pick up my daughters from school. If I say, "How was your day?" Good, and that's that. But if I ask, "What was the best part of your day?" or "What was the most challenging part of your day?" then we kind of get somewhere. So, open-ended questions. When you were in the batter's box, how did your body feel? What was your heart rate? Um, Would you like to talk about it? No? Okay. Well, there'll be some space. Just know I'm here for you and I get it and I'm with you. Um, Tell me more about that. And then remember that your tone matters more than the words that you're saying. So create this body language and this tone of there's no fire here, right? We're all good. And I've noticed that a lot of kids, when they're feeling this traumatic moment, the more quiet we are, the more relaxed we are, the better. Some kids do respond to humor, that's for sure. And we'll dig into that a little bit more here in a minute. These are pitfalls I've fallen into. I'm a fixer. I'm a pleaser and I'm a fixer. Hey, let me fix this thing real quick. I got it. I got the solution. Mom and Dad, no, you don't have the solution. You might think you do, and you probably do. But what I've found to be best with son and daughter is don't jump in with that quick fix. You don't want to just take a bucket of balls and bean them. Go in the backyard. Here, feel this. This doesn't hurt, right? This doesn't hurt. How about the tough bomb? Are you tough? You got to be tough. You can't drop that right out of the gates. Minimizing the pain. You're fine, right? You can already hear that tone. You're fine. They don't hear you are fine. They hear I'm a failure and my dad hates me because I'm scared. Dismissing their fears. This is nothing, right? This is nothing. Again, you can just hear that tone of dismissal. No, they need you to admit 13 different times when you were just as afraid as they are right now. And then yelling. I think we can all get on board with that. You can't yell the fear out of them. It works backwards. Anger never works. Ultimatums never work. Not in this category whatsoever. Even if you've found that your son or daughter's love language is firm or an ultimatum, doesn't work here. It's probably going to extend it another couple of months, maybe a year, and they're not going to feel comfortable to talk to you about other obstacles and things of adversity down the road, which is super important. I want my daughters to be comfortable enough to talk with me about relationships gone wrong, things going wrong at school. But if I'm reacting with anger or ultimatums, they're going to fight that one hard. Empower. Empower your child to make their own choice. This is not a weakness. This is a strength if you can come from this angle. It's going to be their choice. They're going to be the one to, at a certain point, for me, it was that second year, stepping into the box, creaming a ball, and going, you know what? I'm on the offense here. They're on the defense. They need to be the ones with some protective gear because I've got this bat and I can pound that ball. It took me 2 years to get that feeling, but it was my choice. It's going to be their choice to face their fear. So moms and dads, there you go. Now we're jumping into tips for coaches and building confidence in your players. The confidence switch is different for each kid. So let's dig right in. Know your role as the coach. What's your nickname? That should be the first role. Listen to these kids. Find out who they are, where they come from, what their favorite cereal is, what's their favorite Disney character, favorite TV show, favorite song. Come up with a nickname based off of that. The nickname should paint a picture of who they are. And you want to get to know who they are as a person. That builds a lot of trust. And it goes a long way when they battle some adversity like this situation. Love and teach, create a safe space. Your job isn't to fix the child. Your job isn't to win games at all costs. If you've got to win that game that day and that's your sole purpose, then you're going to shame and embarrass the kid that's afraid of being hit by the pitch. Stop stepping out. You're fine. Stay in there. Come on. Your team needs you. You're letting us down. Right? All that. And you might only say, come on. But with that tone, that's exactly what that kid hears is I'm letting my team down. I'm letting my coach down. I'm a failure. You got to be the one to give them the tools to help them out of this hole. They're in a deep, deep hole and they don't know how to get out of it. What makes you different from a parent? Different type of relationship, no baggage. All right. You can actually help with the tactical support more quickly, more effectively than a parent. Um, it's just That's just how it is. And it took me a while. I'm stubborn. I thought, no, I'm dad, and they're going to listen to me way more than they're going to listen to their teachers. Now, again, that pass off, that handoff, for you parents, it's a strength. This is a good one. Even if you have the skills and are a coach yourself, a child is more likely to hear it coming from somebody else. So even if you are mom or dad and you are the coach and you've got the skills and you're awesome and your kids do respect you, they're still going to hear it from somebody else for some reason. All right. Now, you as the coach, and you've got this parent that comes to you and says, "Hey, my kid's afraid of the ball. Please help." Or you notice that this kid's afraid of the ball. Have that one on one with the parents. Build trust with them. Have a cup of coffee. Get on the same page. Remind them of their role to be their champion, be their supporter, to always come from a positive place, to do everything we just talked about in module number 2. That's their role. Connect with them as a person first. Become a savant of people before you teach them skills, before you teach them how to uh, win, before you even teach them how to become a good teammate. There's got to be a personal connection there. Um, their love language, how they learn. There's no substitute for building that trust up first. Connect with them. You as the coach, you also want to let them know your joy is detached from their results. There's a lot of trust there. Why? Because you're much more involved in the person. Inclusivity and team culture. So I always award kids that are being great teammates, cheering with baseball cards. And I don't let anything slide as far as bullying or being mean. And sometimes I miss it. Sometimes I'm not in the area where being mean to somebody where that's taking place. So it's important that I tell the whole group, if you feel this way, if you feel like you're not being included, if you're being embarrassed or shamed, you got to tell a coach. Come to me, let me know, and we will have a talk. We will fix it. But embrace that. You got to build a culture where kids feel free to come up to you and let you know their feelings, that they're sad. So inclusivity is huge. Really praise great character and teamwork and picking people up when they're down. Praise that. And then constructively criticize quietly and privately. When you notice that one kid is doing the bullying, you got to walk over and quietly, privately have a talk with them first. Let them know this is not acceptable. You can have a one-on-one with their parents as well. Let them know, hey, kids are kids. I understand it, but this is the culture that we're creating. The culture is what you tolerate. Don't let anything slide there. What else can you do, coach? Well, if you've taken my playbook, if you've taken my skills course on this Coach Ballgame University, you know all about how I set up my practices. We split the kids up into small groups. Maybe one of the stations is a batting station, but it's the how to get hit by the pitch station. And you are teaching them not with hard balls, not with a kid pitch, but you as the coach are throwing balls, and maybe you're teaching them with some sort of foam ball or tennis ball how to turn their back and get hit by the pitch. Um, you could also have them face kid pitch, but with tennis balls, right? If they might not be ready for that, but that's a good step forward. Have them face kid pitch with a baseball, but as the batter, instead of holding a bat, hold a glove. And if the ball's coming towards them, they can just catch it. And then, like I said, teach kids how to turn so they get hit in the back or the behonkus, as I call it, instead of the face or the chest or the belly. But definitely a great station to set up in right field, left field, wherever you want to. when you're teaching them how to get hit, start small and build gradually. Um, Ask them, create a two-way street. Would they like their coach to get hit? You want to see me get hit by one? Bring a little levity to the situation. If you found that a certain kid responds to humor or responds to coaches getting hurt, which a lot of kids love, they laugh at that. Okay, say you know what? You take the ball, and I'm gonna be the batter, and go ahead. Let me show you how to get beamed, and then you can make some funny sounds like "ooh, ow." Ouch, right in the behunkus, right in the buttocks, like Forrest Gump. And they might smile, and it might just start to make them think, wait, maybe this fear that I have isn't as intense and legitimate as I think it is. More gear, pad them up. There are chest protectors you can put under your uniform, face masks, and if you've set up this culture where nobody's going to shame anybody on the team, then everybody's going to get behind them. Hey, we understand that you're on your way to overcoming this fear, but right now, hey, we're going to put a mask on. We're going to put some protective gear on just to get them there. This is a small step forward kind of game, baby steps to the top. Let them build it up slowly. That's the only way. It's going to happen slowly. It's not an overnight fix. Repetition. Uh, Pete Rose did this very well, where he would just watch the pitch go past him, wouldn't swing at it, but would watch the pitch all the way to the catcher's mitt. And if there's no catcher, all the way to the backstop. And then another one. And just having them watch that go by is a huge deal. Now, if you've gotten, maybe you start with you as the coach are throwing tennis balls and they're just doing that drill. Then you as the coach, you bring in hard balls and you start doing that drill. And then you bring in a kid and they throw tennis balls. Same thing where you're just watching that go by. You notice my front shoulder closes as I watch the ball go by. That's really what we want to do. We don't want that front shoulder flying out, that front foot stepping out. So that's huge. Sidebar with the feet. If you can teach a young hitter to not step, if they can just use their hips instead and keep their toes rooted in the ground, have them widen out their feet, then they're not used to stepping anyway. So a lot of times kids will step out when they're afraid of the ball. But if you teach the proper hitting technique of load in your back hip, explode to your front hip, and the toes stay rooted in the ground, that's going to help a lot too. Coach, focus on effort and progress. Praise the small wins loudly. I always have a big stack of baseball cards in my pocket during these practices, and if I see whoa, that was a big step forward. That was a foul ball, or your front toe didn't move; it stayed in the ground. You didn't step out. You saw the ball all the way to the bat. I'm awarding that loudly. No shaming, no embarrassing. Speak. If there needs to be some constructive criticism, it should be quietly, it should be privately, and it should have positive reinforcement underneath it. Supportive. And then make a game out of it. A lot of kids love competitions and games. So if they're playing a game or having a competition, a lot of times they forget that they're learning something. So, boom. And just like the moms and dads, your joy detached from their results. Most important. Your words are huge. Your body language is even bigger. Your actions, your tone. I would say it goes third place, second place, first place, right? And when I can get the whole team together and I can be vulnerable and apologize for overreacting or let them know my fears or let them know that I'm flawed, it really helps. Something I'll do when kids are struggling is I'll bring the team together and say, guys, I was the best player on my college team, the captain of the team. I went 0 for 4 in a game with 4 strikeouts. But did I give up? No. And guess what I did that fifth time up? And a couple kids will say, home run, double. I'll say, I struck out again. 0 for 5, 5 strikeouts. But I did catch a ball in right field, a diving catch that helped our team win. So it brings a little levity, a laugh, and it lets those kids know, wait, Coach Ballgame's not perfect. Coach Ballgame struggles too. Okay. Long-term development here. That's the game we're in. Youth baseball, youth softball, youth sports. This is development. We're not into the short-term results. You're going to get tempted by that. That culture's out there. That's why I started getting upset and started doing all of the things that I do, sandlots and education for coaches, is I was tired of seeing these 7-year-olds come up to me and say, I'm going to quit. My coach is yelling, shaming, making it too serious. Yeah, I was like, man, I got to do something about this. So no short-term results. This is long-term development. If you can give this kid the tools to overcome fear, wow. I mean, you might be the most impactful thing you ever do. Module 4, final thoughts. This is for the kid, so you can bring the kid in to the room if you'd like for this one. But for you kids out there that are going through this, me, James Lowe, aka Coach Ballgame, I totally get it. I understand exactly where you are. I was there. I was 8 years old and I got hit by a fastball by Derek McKee, who was like 6 foot tall. And it scared me. It hurt me in the back and it scared me. And then I didn't feel comfortable to get in that batter's box for another 2 years. I've been there. I got to college and for some reason, I was getting hit a lot there as well. I own the career hit by pitch record at my college at Brown University. That's the only record I hold. But by that time, I was proud. I was proud to get hit. And here's why. As you slowly walk into that batter's box each and every time that you're feeling that fear and you put your feet into the ground and you get that bat up and you look out at that pitcher, every time you do that, you're inspiring others. You're not alone. Mike Trout went through this. Shohei Ohtani, Mookie Betts, Babe Ruth, your dad, your coach. We all went through this fear. And every time you're brave enough to get in there and try again to swing that bat and try and hit that ball, you're inspiring kids. There are kids on your team. There are kids on the other team who are going through this. And they're watching you and they're going, huh, that's inspiring. And then when you get hit, when you do get hit, and you turn that back and it hits you in the B-honkus, it hurts. But by the time you get to first base, usually the pain is gone. But what has happened? Well, your coach has given you a fist bump and said, you're awesome. The kids on your team, they're thinking, wow, that's a mighty warrior. That kid's brave. That kid's strong. I want to be like that kid. The kids on the other team, they see that happen and they go, wow, I wish I was that strong. I wish I was that brave. All the fans in the bleachers, they're going, man, that kid, wow, tough, strong, brave. I like that kid. The umpires, all the coaches, everybody watching on Game Changer, they're all thinking that. So what you've done is in those 20 seconds where the pain is gone and you put your foot on first base, you've changed a ton of lives for the better. You've inspired a lot of people. So you'll be fine. This will pass. Time will pass. But I just want you to know, coming from Coach Ballgame, I know exactly what you're feeling right now. And there is no rush to get past this. Baseball and softball is different. We've got balls coming at our face, hard balls coming at us, at our chest, at our shoulder, at our body. It's different from other sports. But That's why I think it's the most awesome sport, right? Where the most brave, the most mighty of mighty warriors sign up and say, okay, I'm signing up for baseball and softball. I'm declaring to the world that I'm a mighty warrior. I'm super brave and I'm ready for this. But there will be a moment when that kid throws a pitch and your bat connects with the ball and it's this loud sound and all the defenders go, whoa. And it'll happen right here in your brain and you'll go, what was I thinking? This is amazing. I'm on offense. It might happen in a week, probably not. Might happen in a month, probably not. Might happen in a year or 2 years or 5 years. But if you love this game, um, then just keep stepping into that box and keep feeling that fear. Feel all those fears. That's good, right? Embrace that fear. That means you care. Um, and I've given your parents and your coaches some advice here to help you through it. But I can't tell you how normal this fear is. So, kids, parents, coaches, thank you for attending this. Thank you for caring so much. And hey, I can't wait to hear how things go in your life. Please email me, let me know how things are going, and hopefully I see you one of these days on my Sandlot tour. But thank you again. Thank you very much, and attaboys and attagirls.